Good evening, welcome back to the next instalment of Burning Blades. So, last time, down in Baldur's Gate, Ruri and Grishnak, while they waited for Thessalia to be able to teleport them north to join with their comrades, Ruri thought he'd do a little bit of shopping. Grishnak staying behind to guard the eggs. A successful shop for you, Ruri, at Sorcerer's Sundries. You were able to get a few items, including a ring of warmth that should give you some protection against the cold up north. You also were able to buy as well as several healing potions. You slightly confused the proprietor by buying a tapestry off them that was in no way magical, but depicted the history of Balduran, founder of Baldur's Gate, on a sea voyage to a far-off continent, coming back with riches that established Baldur's Gate as a wealthy trade hub. You bought that hoping that you might be able to gift it to Rhogaar, that it then might be used to win over the trust and friendship of this Toveth. As you left Sorcerer's Sundries, you bumped into a familiar face. You couldn't place it at first, but you then recognised it as the Dragon Soul lieutenant that guarded Resmir, the Black Worm Speaker, as he actually was guarding Resmir's I forgot the word now. It's a palanquin.
Oh, the
thing.
Yeah,
yeah,
the seats on the with the covers around it that are carried by people.
Like the rickshaw type thing.
Kind of, but you carry them. I actually completely forgot the name for it. Fuck. Anyway, you saw one of them, and it had Resmer inside it. Meanwhile, Grishnak, back at the tavern, you were approached by a couple of rather rough-looking fellows who started asking you for your help and started describing these people that had taken some precious items from them. And they went on to describe the rest of the group before revealing they did in fact know who you are, and threatening you at sword point, asking you where the eggs were. There was a brief fracas that ended with one man with his head split open on the tavern floor and another one being dragged down the street by the javelin through his thigh, which prompted a rather hasty exit from Baldur's Gate as you quickly met up with Thessalia, getting teleported north, leaving Hemi to deal with the mess. Meanwhile, in the north, unbeknownst to Rui and Grishnak, the night before, right after Rhogaar, Cal and Gortrek, right after you'd arrived, you were apprehended while you made camp by Gathrix, an old friend of Rhogar's, captain of the Hand of Judgment, Bryn Shander's own elite peacekeeping force, law enforcement group, by their elite defenders, and you were taken, rather unceremoniously, down to meet with Rhogar's father, Rathar Grimfrost, a rather dour and unfriendly fellow who berated you, Rhogaar, for returning so soon, who was furious to learn of your purpose in Icewind Dale, of your intention to return these chromatic dragon eggs, to take them to Torveth for safekeeping, adamant that by doing so you would be profaning the sacred mountain and insulting their ancient defender, and steadfastly refused to allow you to go through with this, telling you that once the eggs arrived, they would be destroyed, and that would be the end of it. You were then taken to some secure guest quarters, which were warded with anti-magic sigils, preventing you from reaching out or anything else in that regard, where you were left to have a rather tense discussion between yourselves about just what were you going to do to get yourselves out of this situation. And yeah, where to go from here. You lay down for a rather rough night's sleep, with Valorian chipping in just before you fell asleep, Rhogaar, just to remind you of your own strength, your own conviction and faith in your cause, suggesting that maybe the real challenge here was overcoming your fear of your father. But with his piece said, he left you to rest, and after a rather troubled night's sleep of probably rather stressful dreams, you find yourself waking in this relatively Spartan yet high quality room. These guest chambers, there's nothing really fancy about them, but this is clearly, nobles' quarters, as it were. This is probably the nicest quarters you've slept in since you were Governor Nighthill's guests in Greenest. Waking, it's still actually dark outside. See, this far north, it's later in the morning when the sun actually crests the horizon. So you reckon it's probably about 8 o'clock-ish, that kind of time. But it is still dark outside, with a hint of dawn on the horizon. It's cold. Rhogaar, you're not really feeling it, but Cal and Gotrek, even inside your quarters, this place is cold. The fire that was roaring in the hearth the night before has died down to embers. It is pretty chill in here. The door, you were locked in, you remember. But you can hear, faint sounds of movement and life within the building. It seems like, some of the house servants going about their business. So, what are you doing?
Can I just say I'm really nervous?
You can.
Okay.
So, what was that, Cal? You were coming through a bit fuzzy and distorted there.
It wasn't me. I had my microphone muted. I've only just put it down.
Ah, okay. Well, someone was
I have
coming
a
through
habit of
really
saying
dodgy.
things during the intro that I don't want to, so just I muted myself.
Thank you for sharing that with me. Now I know. So anyway.
So, is there anything to make a fire out of in the room as I've woken up a little bit chilly?
Yeah, there is a...
Like break
there
a
is...
chair and throw it in the hearth?
There is a
fireball?
basket. There is a basket next to the hearth. It contains little bits of kindling as well as a few larger logs. And there are obviously still some glowing embers in the fireplace.
I will build a fire.
Yep. So you set
And
to
I will
building the fire.
not wait for the embers to take. I am going to set it on fire.
How?
Because I've not got to set anything on fire.
How are you doing that?
With my tinderbox. Because I don't want to burn us to death.
Yep, tinderbox works.
Casual fire starter.
I mean, I could have just put a wall of fire around it and made it work, but...
I don't think you could have. Not in this
it's
room.
a magic room. Yeah, of course. See?
Okay.
Starter. Casual fire starter.
Trusted fire starter.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they're giving it the key flint in the hearth while I'm striking my tinderbox.
So Kel's setting a fire. Gotrek and Rhogaar, what are you up to?
Rhogaar's on the end of the bed, kind of just thinking.
Yep.
Like,
I think Gotrik's just walking around the room inspecting the stone masonry. It's like, any cracks, any nothing. Just like,
Are you looking for like cracks that you can maybe take advantage of?
No, to
In some
point
way?
out that they are structurally weak and he needs to fix them.
Fair enough. Do me an investigation check. Ooh.
Straight out the bat.
There you go. That's your natural 20 for the session.
Yep.
So
For the week.
you have to respect the craftsmanship here. It's you actually this might even be some dwarven work here. The stones are very well cut, very neatly placed. The mortar very well set. You do find, on the wall furthest from the door, there is a bit of. It doesn't so much look like the wall was badly made, but it looks like the mortar here has slowly eroded a bit over time. And as such, this would be, if the wall had a weak point, this would be it. But it is well made.
Got to hand it to you, Rhogaar. This structure is very well maintained, considering it looks quite old.
I would say with that investigation,
Nary a-
it looks pretty old. We're talking a few hundred years.
Nary a scratch aside from there. And I'm just going to point to the corner.
Camera zooms in on the scratch.
It's a pretty minor scratch.
I think
Still.
Rhogaar probably just ignore that.
Okay. Lads, what's the plan of action?
I think Rhogaar will get up, look at the guys, and then just go to the door and start pounding on it, like.
Okay, yep.
Like,
You start hammering on the door.
Our plan.
You're only hammering for, like, are we just talking like incessant, like non-stop?
I mean, yeah, again, not like obnoxious, but like trying to get someone's attention.
Sure. After about, probably about 20, 30 seconds or so, you do hear footsteps approaching, a little bit of muttering, you know, something, all right. And you hear a little jangle of a keyring, locking the door, and it swings open, and Brinley is stood on the side. Oh, good morning, Master Rhogaar. Did you rest well?
Wonderful, thank you. My
Very
father.
Your father?
I need an audience with my father immediately.
I mean, your father is currently. Yes, of course. Come with me.
Thank you, Brindley. I just look back at the dwarves and just be like, please stay here. I just close the door.
And Brinley actually does lock the door behind you as well.
By the old fuck.
Got your
Better
account,
not
you are
do
locked
anything
in.
Stupid.
But you
In the
have,
naughty corner.
a fire. It is warm. So, Brinley leads you back down the short corridor. I mean, the Speaker's mansion is not big. You know, it's one of the bigger, grander houses in Bryn Shander, but that's not saying a lot, to be fair. It's a short
Right.
walk back down the corridor to the main lobby. And as you come into the lobby, you can see a slightly nervy, embarrassed-looking Brinley as you get closer, and you start to understand why as you get into the lobby, as you can hear raised voices coming from inside your father's office. One you recognise as being your father, the other you recognise as being Gathrix's.
I'll stand outside.
As Gathrix is, do me a, just do me a perception check, just for the sake of it.
10.
That is just what you needed to be able to make this out in any real clarity. So give me a second. I'm probably not going to get the voices first time because it's been 2 weeks, and they're all very similar but a little bit different. Okay, so Gathrix is trying. His voice. He's not shouting. This isn't yelling, but this is obviously a bit of a heated discussion. There's definitely, you can get the sense of he's trying to be respectful, but is also quite adamantly trying to make a point. And he's speaking quite loudly to father. This just will not do, Lord Grimfrost. The people will need to see some action. You cannot let this pass. Rather responds, it is not your decision to make, Gathrix. I have. A reputation must be upheld. And that is the end of it. As this is being said, Brinley goes up and knocks tentatively on the door. And there's a moment of silence. Ruthers, who is it? Brinley responds, it is your son, my lord. He wishes an audience immediately. You hear a bit of a growl of consternation. Very well. Show him in. Brinley opens the door, and your father is stood there. He's not in his armour. He's in simple robes, and he's half stood behind his desk, fists placed upon it, kind of leaning a little bit forward. And there is there's a slight kind of paleness to his scales. This is basically the equivalent of a human going red in the face. You know, you can tell that he's been getting angry, he's getting worked up. He looks tired. He doesn't look like he's slept much. Gathrix, on the other hand, is stood there in his formal armour, helmet tucked under one arm. Kind of get an impression he probably doesn't take it off very often.
Go off.
And he's stood there, he's trying to keep a respectful stance, but himself, his gold scales are slightly flushed with a rose tint that also suggests that he too has been getting a little bit heated in this, and both glare at you as you enter. Rathar then looks to Gathrix. Leave us. Gathrix looks a little bit surprised for a second, kind of looks to you, looks back to her. And Lord Grimthorst, leave us. He scowls at you. You can actually hear a slow growl under his breath. And he turns and storms out. Brinley exits the room, closing the doors behind him. You two are left alone. Your father looks to you, narrows his eyes. Well, you wish to discuss today's events?
In a manner of speaking, may I take a seat?
Gestures to the one of the chairs in front of his desk with a hand. Takes a breath and sits down himself, and leans back in his chair slowly.
Father, how are you?
I am well. Why do you ask? This is not important.
Your health is important.
Yeah.
People of this town need you.
Make me an insight check.
6!
Okay. Yeah, seems pretty impassive. My health is not of your concern. I'm fine. We have other things to discuss.
We do. I wondered if you have heard anything of my exploits while I've been away from town.
We hear little of what occurs in the soft Southlands.
Not surprising. I
am sure you have been shining yourself with glory, rescuing thieves and farmhands.
In a manner of speaking, we have brought law and order to a town called Vandalin. Drove away a band of miscreants that were savaging the town. We saved Greenest from a large blue dragon.
He scoffs. Pretty tales, Rhogaar. Are you sure it wasn't just a large cow painted blue?
Yes. You always did have some humor, Father.
I am not joking.
I'm sure you are not. I want to ask you a question. A serious question.
Go ahead.
It's about Lendis.
His brow... I know, yeah, you don't even need to insight check this one. His brow furrows, like his expression suddenly goes to one of suspicion with a hint of anger.
When I left...
Karen?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say he doesn't say anything. That's it.
When I left Bryn Shander, I made sure to pray every day, more than once, to Lendis, to ask for his guidance. What should I do? What would you do, Father? What would Lendis do? And I did what I thought was best, what Lendis would do. I went out and I made sure to no quarter given to lawbreakers. I helped the good, and I punished the wicked. I did everything. But Father, I heard nothing from him. What does this mean?
Do me perception or insight, your choice.
They're the same. 3.
It means,
Daddy, why?
my son, that you lack faith. You lack conviction.
Yes. That is what I thought. But my abilities, where do they come from? If not from Lendis himself.
From his mercy. Clearly Lendis pities you.
Yes, I'm sure he does. What of you, Father? Have you spoken with him?
Of course. Of course I do.
I want to insight check that.
Go for it.
Come on, roll. 12.
Okay. His voice is steady, but he did take a little while to answer. You know, there was a right before he answered, there was a quite heavy pause, and his eyes did seem to dart off of you just for a moment. Not in like a specific kind of he's looking over there at something, more in a kind of slight. And you can hear, let's say you detect there's a slight forcedness to his voice, almost. It's hard to be sure, but it's like, yeah, you don't get anything clear, but something just wasn't quite convincing about his response. Clearly, you have much work to regain Lendis' favor after your pathetic act of mercy. Enough talk of this. Let me tell you how today is going to go. You and your 2 dwarven comrades will accompany Gathrix and a small detachment of the Hand out to where your friends will arrive. When they get here, you will bring the eggs back to me. I will have space cleared in the market square. I will announce to the people that your pilgrimage was successful, that you have located spawn of the enemy after, what was it? You said it was a blue dragon you chased away from Greenest? Rhogaar?
Oh, hello.
You said it was a blue dragon that you chased away?
I did.
Whatever. We shall tell them it was black. It will make more sense to the people.
Daily Mail.
Oh, God.
Fucking Tory.
Oh, God. We need to move away from this plotline quick. I feel so bad about it at the moment, man. No, it's okay. You're trying to help him. Oh, that's even worse. I'm just going to stop. Anyway, back in character. We shall tell them that your pilgrimage was successful. And then I shall destroy the eggs. And then your friends will leave. And we shall find you some... shall make you a lieutenant in the Hand. And we shall never speak of this again. But if you ever do anything to disgrace me, my family, this family, again, there will be no second chance, Rhogaar. You understand?
No, I don't understand.
What part of that was hard for you to understand?
This... Father, What does Lendis say to you? Tell me. I need to know.
At this point, perception checks and insight be damned. I think it's you're wearing him down a little bit. There's definitely a tremor in one of his arms. There's a shake right now. It's slight, but it's there. His mouth opens and closes a couple of times, but he says nothing. And then in a very low voice, almost barely more than a growl. What would you know? The burdens of responsibility. This is all some game to you, Rhogaar. You're here to poke and prod and goad me. What do you know? What have you heard? Who's been talking? Who's told you? Was it Brinley?
What, father?
Has he told you about Lendis?
He has not told me anything about Lendis.
I am in control. I have the authority and I will not have it questioned.
No one is questioning your authority, father. Me, certainly not. I see your pain.
You see nothing. How could you understand?
How could I understand pain?
How could you understand the burden? All these
The
people
burden?
looking to you for guidance, leadership, for protection, to maintain order. I do
I think
what I must, Rhogaar.
I know more than you think, father.
Oh, what do you know?
It is ironic that I would take almost your position in Phandalin, looking after all those people, making sure marauders didn't come and pillage, enlisting good men and women to fight on behalf of the town, keeping law and order. I know more than you think.
Make me a persuasion check.
Come on, don't fail me now, persuasion.
Come on.
9!
Oh.
Come on, man! I got a +7. Oh, man!
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
Oh, yes. I am sure you have such a good understanding from protecting farm hands, from looking after shepherds, from little goblins that might come and steal their flock. You don't know what it is like to have to protect the entire 10 towns from the dangers of the icy wastes. You know it is death outside of those walls, Rhogaar. I must keep all of these people alive. I must keep the 10 towns prosperous, and for that we need the authority of Lendis. I will not have that questioned. I cannot have that questioned. You get the sense that last part he almost seems to have said to himself more than to you.
God. Father, the 10 towns will suffer if you suffer. You must come to terms with what you know is fact. It does not mean that you have failed. It does not mean you have been abandoned. It is simply a fact. And it will not change your authority if you do not let it.
He angers at that, and he slams a fist down on the table, slightly denting the desk a little bit. He is still a strong man despite his age. He gets angrily to his feet. What facts? What do you mean? Not abandoned. That I must suffer in silence, alone with this burden, and it means I am not abandoned? What foolishness and naivety is this? His shoulders sag. And suddenly you see he shows his years. He's scarcely 20 years your senior, but he looks almost twice that now as he stands there, shoulders sagged, head hanging low. What did I do wrong? Icewind Dale is a harsh and rough place. My father told me, as his before him, that to lead, one must be equally harsh, strict and firm. They told me, venerate Lendis, stick to his teachings, he will show you the way. And then shortly after your birth, nothing. No guidance. Am I out of favor? Or is everything that I was raised to believe a lie? All I know is that everyone looks to me for leadership. What do you think would happen, Rhogaar? And at this point he does. He leans right across the table and is like finger in your face. What do you think would happen if they learned out, if the people discovered that their leader got nothing but silence, was racked with doubt and fear? What then? No. I must do what I can to get his favor back.
None of us can get his favor back.
What do you mean?
You really don't know, do you?
Know what? Speak plainly, boy.
Say something now, and I do not do it to hurt you, or undermine you, or disrespect you. I say it because I love you. Father Lendis is dead. He is no more.
Dead? How can a god be dead? What nonsense do you speak? A god cannot be. Lendis cannot be dead.
It's what they call, I believe, little god. The belief in the world, the belief in Lendis in the world has left. There is not enough belief now to keep him alive, whatever that means. He is not able to talk to you or anyone anymore. When I learned this, I grieved. I said the same things as you have just done. As everything, I have been taught a lie, and was it my fault somehow? Could I have done more?
While you're saying this, your father does slowly sink back into his chair, kind of slumps, looking a little in shock. His expression seems to be a mix of disbelief and just stunned surprise.
Sorry. I'm sorry it had to be me to tell you this.
This cannot be. This cannot. It is not past Tovus would have. I don't understand.
I did not understand either, Father.
Everyone here, they look to all of the 10 towns. We observe Lendis. I am the voice that I bring the voice of Lendis to them. As my father did before me, we all knew that he was Lendis's chosen. He was. How is this so? Why would Torvus not tell me?
Perhaps I can ask her.
Kind of. Sonny gives you side eyes. Perhaps you mean to travel to Torvus with these eggs, yes?
It was not something I thought I would ever do or want to do. But I have been asked to do this. And the silence that Lendis has given me for my entire life has not been replaced by another who gives favor and power. The power to destroy the dragon cult and to stop the return of Tiamat.
Make me a persuasion check with advantage.
Because I'm rolling so badly.
Come on, Rhogaar.
Fucking come on. 22.
Oh,
22. His head sinks lower. Well, it seems Torvus herself is already angry with me. Why else would she leave me in the dark for so long? And whether what you say is true or not, then this has no love for me. What favor is there for me to lose? Do what you will. Ask her. Maybe she will tell you. Maybe not. Maybe she will strike you down for your insolence in daring to bring such a hated enemy into her realm, but maybe not. Maybe your precious childling of a god is right after all. What would I know? What will you do then?
Continue to fight the dragon cult. I will follow them wherever they go, destroy them without mercy.
You'll leave Bryn Shander once again. You'll leave Eistendale to chase some shapeless enemy across Faerun. There's no venom in his voice now. He just sounds defeated, tired. But there is a hint of bitterness.
I will do what is asked of me. I will serve. You know that feeling.
I
will
don't
do
think
what
I
I
do.
can.
I think my sense of duty, of justice and propriety is not the same as yours. You are just like your mother. So be it.
My chair a little bit at that.
If that is what you must do, I cannot stop you. I could not stop her.
mean you could not stop her?
Your mother did not die, Rhogaar. Not to my knowledge. She left on some worthy crusade, no doubt, to fight evil across the land rather than do her duty in her homeland. There's a sigh with a, kind of that regretful sigh almost.
Why didn't you tell me?
You were a child, it was not important. You did not need to know. You would not have understood. It was simpler.
Where did she go? Do you know?
South. To one of the great cities, and from there... I don't know. I've had not contact with her since she left. So many years ago. You would know at this point, Rhogaar, you have no actual memory, no strong memory of your mother. So all you know is that you were told that she had perished, but this was when you were like less than a year old. So she's been gone for like what? How old are you now?
35, maybe? I can't remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
35
so she's
by
been
now.
gone. Yeah, about 35 years, 34 years, we say. She is either
Father.
out there somewhere fighting for the common folk of some far-off land, or she is dead in a ditch and has been these last decades. I do not know. I do not care. Go. Follow in her footsteps. I wish you luck and victory.
You should not told yourself so. It saddens me to see you like this.
What would you have me do, Rhogaar?
You can be the authority in the 10 towns without Lendis. You have been doing it all these years. Give yourself some kind of relief. Stop punishing yourself. What has it gotten you?
There is a flash of steel in his eyes, and suddenly his head comes up and looks back at you. It has gotten me stability. Brinshanda stands still. Because the people believe that my word carries the authority of a god behind it. Do you know how many interlopers I've had to put down? Those who would take advantage. How much worse do you think that would be if the people did not fear that the god was judging them and watching them?
That's what you've taught me. Fear. I pity your father. I'm sorry. I'll stand up and
Just get out of here. Take your
Walk
friends. Okay.
stomp back to Gotrek and Cal.
As you stomp through the lobby, you do see Brinley kind of stood there. He's in the process of jumping back as you push open the doors. You get the impression he might have been eavesdropping. And he does
Classic
stand
Brinley.
there looking at you. He looks between you, to you and to your father, back at you, back to your father. And there's this conflicted expression of devotion. Both to devotion to your father and and to yourself, but with yourself also mixed with a sense of almost admiration.
I guess I'll just. Please look after him, Bindley. He needs it more than he knows.
Of course, Master Rhogaar. And you look after yourself. Rhogaar, you're... He kind of looks to your father, who is just... He hasn't moved. He's sat there kind of slumped down in his seat, just staring at nothing, just looking a bit, well, vacant, to be honest. But Brandon kind of looks nervously over at your father through the still open doors and kind of hurries over to you in a slightly lowered voice. Your mother, in her way, she did love you. That's what they argued about. That's why she left. She wanted the world to be safer, not just a 10-mile radius around this city. For you and for everyone. Oh, sorry, say again. It came through a bit kind of faint there.
I understand that.
Well, good luck.
You too, Brindley.
And he
Oh,
turns back and starts walking nervously towards your father's office.
I'll go and go to the door. Godric and Cal.
Oh, I'm sweating.
God, I need to take a break after this.
Oh, actually, no, that's a good point. Before Brindley turns back, he does take a key off his keyring and hands it to you.
Okay, I thought I was going to have to rip the door off. Yeah, so I'll go and I'll unlock the door. I'll just stand there and just like, come on, we're leaving.
No?
Yes.
All right, fine. We get breakfast first. I'm damn starving.
I think it's best we just go.
Oh, fine.
We can catch something.
Now
Just
you're
gonna-
fucking deaf from no food.
I'm just gonna like gesture to my armor like, I catch food.
Like, just like impatient, like, come on. Let's
Aye, we're going.
stomp back through the...
Okay, so just gathering
Yeah.
stuff up and leaving.
Yeah.
So, as you march back down the hallway and out the lobby, out into the small square just outside of the Speaker's Mansion, heading over to the little stables on the edge of this little compound, and recovering Sif and... Is it just Sif and Moonin that you've got?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Recovering those two and starting to make your way. And there are a few people around. There's a few people who obviously work within Speaker's Mansion. Some of the houses opposite, there's a couple of old fellas outside smoking pipes and carving some good scrimshaw. But
I'd
as
like
you...
to take 10 minutes to cast Find Steed.
Okay.
While they're saddling up, etc.
Okay. So you begin to... Is it a ritual spell?
It is. It's yeah. Boom. So it's just a 10-minute cast. It's not really a ritual.
It's not ritual. All right. So as you... what, you're just doing this by the stables?
Yeah, I think I'll just like stand by the stables and just, as long as there's enough room for him to...
Oh yeah, there'd be enough room for him to come to a landing down here.
How many people are there around?
I'd say just over a dozen.
Yeah, that'll do.
Right. So as you take a breath to compose yourself, recalling the verbal and somatic components that you will need for this spell, you hear a door slam open. The main doors of the Speaker's Mansion slam open, and a voice calls out to you. Rhogaar!
Motherfucker.
Turning, you see stood at the top of the steps Gathrix. He has his shield strapped to one arm, and he's glaring down at you. What have you done? And he starts striding down the stairs. As he's striding down the stairs, he's actually drawing his sword as well. Reaching the bottom. What? You think you are the perfect knight, that you can just waltz back, fix everything, get your way. Oh, yes. I understand. He holds his sword up before him, for his face, and mutters the word Valignat, which you know, and actually Cal, you would know as well because you speak Draconic, means to burn. And his sword bursts into flame. And with a roar, he comes charging at you. I need you to roll initiative, please, Rhogaar.
And can I lob a warding flare in there? As a
Fireball
reaction
him.
to
Okay, so Godric and
just as
Cal,
a reaction, I'm
you are here, you may act. So I
I
tell
may
you
act.
what, I will say Godric and Cal also roll initiative.
Fucking hell.
But
Yeah, boy.
I don't know what
Fuck him up, boys. Give him one for me.
Oh, come on, man.
Wow.
Ooh.
Bad day for Rhogaar.
Fuck.
Didn't it? Oh, you can't click your token, can you? I suppose
No.
because it's not there.
Oh crap! Yeah, hang on. Yeah, just check your tokens up on the map quickly. I will do likewise.
Mate, this is a mad thing.
That's the wrong list.
Oh, now I get a 21.
Yeah, no, we're going with that
Who
4.
that?
Yeah.
Just add you on, Godric. What was that, an 18?
Yes.
Come on, guys, you can do it. Come on, fuck him up.
Oh, don't fuck him up. Leave him.
Fuck him up, fuck him up.
What you need to do, Rhogaar, is put your computer in some salt water and then see how it comes out.
Yeah.
Let's have our main players over here. Okay.
Oh, what's that supposed to mean?
It means that you are currently whirling through the air.
Well, actually, when I said main players, I was specifically referring to Gathrix and Rhogaar.
Right, okay, I'm with it.
Oh.
So, well, you know, you, Godric and Gal, you are here. Put you in initiative order because
It's not about
you
you.
are free to act. Consider possible ramifications of acting. So, Godric, technically, I would say you kind of get to respond the quicker. So, Gathrix has just taken his turn to essentially move towards Rhogaar and is in process of charging at him, flaming sword aloft, shield in front of him.
So I can surmise that he wants to stab up Rhogaar.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say you've got enough insight to recognise that this seems personal.
Right.
So
Okay.
Rhogaar
Interesting.
gets to react first.
No, Godric, you are on first on initiative order, but you don't have you can stand by. You can act. What are you doing?
Stand in front of him.
Hold person. Just gonna snap my fingers. Hold person.
Okay.
I can't screenshot, but I'm literally hovering over the whole person on my screen as well. In fact, I can. I can send it to the thing, but yeah, I'm doing exactly the same thing.
Yes,
So
boy.
it's a DC 14.
Yep. No, that's fine. So as he just suddenly stops mid-charge, just rigid, unable to move, his eyes suddenly
Nice.
darting with confusion. So we'll put there's a temporary pause right now as he is held. Like pause in initiative order, as it were.
It's up to 1 minute that fucker is staying there.
Okay, I guess I'll walk closer to him and just be like, Gathrix, this is not the time or the place for your personal vendettas.
He can't answer.
Oh shit.
He
He's
literally
held.
can't. You know, he can breathe, and that's it.
Sorry about that, Rhogaar, but he can blink.
It's okay.
No, he
Godric.
can't. He can't blink.
What? Oh shit!
Oh my god.
Gathrix.
So his eyes
hang
are
on, hang
drying
on.
out.
Okay, wait. Bear with me.
Breathe for yes, hold your breath for no.
Okay. So as you're saying this, and as Gortrick repeats, sorry, as he apologizes for his actions, with a sudden lurch, Gathrix is actually free. The spell, Gortrick, you feel the spell fail as he manages to
again.
shrug it off. It's not your turn right now.
Ah, no.
Okay.
It's my turn though.
Technically,
It's
God, this is
Gathrix's
confusing.
turn.
No, technically, it's got Rhogaar's turn. Because it's the end of your turn that you get to remake the save.
Right. Okay.
So he has kind of staggered free, realizing that he's no longer the effects of the spell. He's now preparing himself to attack you, Rhogaar.
Okay. I will take the dodge action.
Okay. So
I won't summon Valorian yet.
nope, just stood there, hands free.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
shield, I think.
Oh yeah, of course, shield. So that does bring us back to the top. Gortrick and Cal, real quick.
Can I go in for a rugby tackle?
You can try, yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally going to go in like straight. I'm going to do a really dirty tackle as well. I'm going to go straight for the knees.
So do me an athletics check. So as you clatter in and grabbing his knees, and his stance was, you tried to get his knees, but his stance was already wide as he was preparing to attack. And as you try to put his legs together to tackle him, he just brings the other knee around, smashing you in the side of the helmet and throwing you aside. That fails, I'm afraid. He got a 20.
Damn
Real quick, Cal.
Oh shit! I don't know what to do. I guess I'm gonna throw a whole person on him again.
Okay. Trying to do another hold person.
Uh,
Okay, yep, so he is locked up again as the spell once again takes effect.
So can we move him while he's like? So can we like detain him? Wrap him
no,
up?
they're locked in place. Well,
Sorry,
it says
they're
they're
locked in place, so
paralysed. It says they're paralysed. So
can we-
you could feasibly, but you'd have to do that on your turn. It's not your turn right now. It is his, so he does get to make another save, which he doesn't succeed in. Rhogaar, back to you.
I'll put my hands up to Gotrek and Cal, just be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let's de-escalate. This is between me and Gathrix.
I didn't set him on fire.
I did smash him with my hammer.
I do appreciate that. Rhogar and Adam appreciates that.
As you're
I
saying this, a half dozen members of the Hand run out of the Speaker's mansion and look at what's going on, draw swords. They're attacking the commander! Protect the captain!
Motherfucker, what? He attacked us.
Leg it.
Hang on, let me just bring them into this. Well, look, if you guys are going to get involved, then that means other people are going to get involved as well.
I don't think technically we're going. Oh, we just stopped him stabbing our friend.
It's interfering.
I tried to like hug his leg. I'd like to imagine I'm like holding onto one of them like a kid does. Like, no, you can't move.
So, very quickly, I just bring them in on this. Oh, wow, everyone's doing appalling on initiative right now. But yeah, so
Is it still my turn?
Guess you're not going to get to come home again anytime soon.
I'd say we're at the top of the round. But Godric, you've got 3 knights now running towards you.
Okay.
Cal, you've got 3 running towards you.
Cal, you know what to do.
No.
No.
Don't encourage
Sorry.
I mean, I'm not, I don't have many options in the way of crowd control. So if it's coming down to it, someone's going to die.
What I'll say, actually, okay, what I'll say, as they're running, you've each got... we'll actually go in reverse initiative order, which is the opposite of what I'd normally do for this. But so Rhogaar, Cal, Gortrek, just very quick, short... I should explain this earlier. Something I talked over Alex. Something we're going to start doing going forward for combats is a tactics round, which is basically like once you've all rolled initiative, we go down initiative order, and everyone just calls out very, very short, very simple what they intend to do in that combat kind of thing. Or, so I'm going to attack that guy, or I'm going to defend that point, or I'm going to cast this spell, sort of thing. We're actually going to go with Rhogaar first because of narrative reasons. So, like, Rhogaar, call out what is, as these 6 knights are charging down to join what they have, what appears to be you guys ganging up and trying to kill Gathrix. Yeah, what is your call to your allies? To your companions?
Well, I'll tell them to. Oh shit. Okay. I will just. I'm going to tell Cal and Gotrek to stop, drop the weapons. This is between me and Gathrix, and I guess that's all I have time to say.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Cal, quick response.
I was going to drop my axe on the floor because it's relatively inconsequential when it comes down to it, and it'll just it's a show of peace, but in reality, I can still burn them. So,
okay.
So, in light of Rhogaar's,
so basically, you're just going to kind of
put my.
You're just acknowledging what Rhogaar said. Gotrek, were you going to?
Yeah, my battle axe is going down.
Were you going to say anything, or are you just going to?
I'm just going to acknowledge. I'll step off, hands up. I didn't even draw my hammer, so.
Are you dropping the spell on Gathrix, Cal?
No. Because I'll drop the spell on Gathrix. He's going to stab Rhogaar in the face.
Okay.
Yeah, but
You can try it.
fuck's sake.
Rory would be done with your shit. Well, Gathrix actually does shrug off the spell with a 21 at the end of his turn, but he's going to kind of look around. What's going on? He's back at you, Rhogaar. This is a matter of honor. Say again?
Call off your men. And this can be a matter of honor between me and you.
So his knights, who had run forward and were kind of like in a ready stance, trying to surround Gotrek and Cal, kind of waiting for a signal from Gathrix, he raises his hand, kind of gestures, and they lower their weapons and take a step back, but they're still watching you guys very closely. Come then, perfect knight. Let us finally see what you are really made of.
Kiss!
Take him out to dinner.
Okay.
Stab him in the throat.
For the jam bags!
So, what are you doing, Rhogaar? He's still there, sword and shield out. You just standing, waiting?
I will, stand and wait.
Okay.
Dodge action.
He looks confused. Draw your weapon, will you not defend yourself?
I do not want to hurt or fight you, Gathrix. This does not need to happen.
You are still a coward. He's going to swing at you. That's an 11.
Nope. So I just step to the side.
It's all attacks that have disadvantage, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
good to know. And as he swings a second time, roaring with anger, that's a 17.
Nope.
Okay.
So just dodge, stand, cool and calm.
Yep. Well, that's his turn. What are you doing?
Okay. Gathrix needs to stop. And I will take the dodge action again.
You need to grow a spine, Rhogaar. And he's actually... Oh, no, because he's got to do this first, hasn't he? Yep, so he's going to lash with his sword again. For a natural 1.
Getting in his head.
You going to respond to that, or are you just going to let it pass?
Can I do anything with his weapon?
What do you want to try and do?
I don't know. Stand on it?
Okay, do me a dexterity check. Yeah, so as he swings at you, and his sword, you just step aside and his sword comes smashing down onto the packed earth, and you move quickly and just bring your foot down on top of the blade. preventing him from making a second attack. However, he is going to use his bonus action. He's going to snarl and he's going to lash out with his shield, trying to knock you down. So make me an athletics check, please.
16.
Oh, yeah, he got a 5. So you see it, you're expecting it, you see it coming. You just brace yourself as the shield lashes out. Bring your own shield up, just taking the blow.
I've studied all of your moves.
Okay, it's your turn, Rhogaar.
Athrix, I will not warn you again. Stop. And I'll take the dodge action again.
Okay, at this point he's just gonna roar again, and he is going to, as he roars, pull his head back, and he's going to breathe out a gout of fire over you. I need a dexterity save, please.
3.
So I believe you take.
That was bound to happen.
I didn't actually have this on the sheet. That's my bad.
10 points of toasty damage.
Oh, he rolled well. 15 points of fire damage.
Good.
Oh, it's on. Just give me a reason.
Okay,
Just give me a reason.
back to your turn.
I guess I just kind of wipe away the soot and I just look at it and I'm just like, so be it. And I will summon Valorian.
Ooh. So as you hold your hand out, the arm out, extended straight to your side, as the blade, the shaft of light just extends out from your closed fist, forming the blade, and then bring it in front of you, and he kind of stares at it, just... What sorcery have you?
My friend. And I will bonus action cast Valorian's Curse on him.
Okay.
And then I am just going to run with a big old slash. Big slashy poos.
Big old slashy poos.
That's 24.
That will hit.
And I'm going to throw a first level smite on it.
Okay.
So 3 from Valorian's Curse, 11 slashing, and then 10 radiant damage.
10. So 24 total. Yeesh.
And then I will come back in for a second swipe. 15.
15 does not hit.
I will use my Channel Divinity to add 10 to it.
So that would be 25. Yeah, that'll hit.
And I'm going to put another first level smite on it.
Okay.
So that's 3,
15.
12, 13.
50 to 28. Take us down to 36. Yes. Oh, for God's sake, those buttons don't work. Why do they not work? No, they might work. Yeah. Okay, that staggers him. And he looks aghast, almost. He's staring at the blade, at the... Just everything about what just transpired. He seems shocked.
I'll take a few steps back and just kind of just look at him and point my sword and just be like, yield! And that's the end of my turn.
He stands there panting. What hellish pact have you made to gain such power? And he's just going to run at you again.
You're not telling my secrets.
Okay, swings with his sword. That's a 22.
I'm going to use shield as a reaction.
Okay. So yeah, that's...
So Valorian comes out and like tings it away.
Yep, there's a flash of light as his blade is thrown back. This is witchcraft. Swings again. 24. It's not going to hit.
It's not.
Damn.
Good use of shield.
And it's a good thrust again. You know, you see it, so that would be a powerful blow otherwise, but it just bounces off this. Valorian almost moves the mind of its own, deflecting the thrust with inhuman speed, in Dragonborn speed.
Mm.
This cannot be. It's your
You
go.
must yield. Nah, he's fucking had his chance to yield. Bollocks to him. I'm going to cast Thunderous Smite as a bonus action on my sword.
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna run at him and give him a couple of slashes. Hopefully,
Give him a little
25.
Taparoo, that'll hit.
So that's okay. Let me count. So okay, let's just talk. Let's talk
There's
about
going to be
this.
some
Let's talk about
maths
this.
here.
There's going to be some math. So thunderous smite. Okay. It's probably going to be asking me what level I want to cast it at. No, it's not. It's just not posting. Can you guys see that?
No, I can see it's trying to put stuff up. It might
Okay,
be
it's probably going to
lagging. Give it a
happen
second.
3 times. Okay, so the first time you hit with a melee weapon, audible thunder for 300 feet, deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage, and the creature must make a strength saving throw or be pushed 10 feet away. And that's
Okay.
DC 15 strength save.
Oh no, I thought it'd come through. It hadn't. Okay, so sorry. Say again. DC
15 strength save.
Okay. Good to know. So what damage is he taking?
Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so let's do some damage. So he's going to be taking Valorian's Curse. Yeah, that's in there. I'm going to throw another first level smite on him because fuck him. So let's roll up. So 3 from Valorian, 7 flashing,
that's all coming
and
through.
then so 10
20.
Radiant,
Yep.
and then 2d6 Thunder. So another 6 Thunder and a Strength save.
26. So yeah, he takes the damage and is thrown backwards. Yeah, he is thrown back across the square, landing on his back. His sword clatters out of his hands and the flames die, and the blade returns to normal. And he's kind of struggling to get to his feet. He is bleeding. He's bleeding pretty badly from his nostrils. There's a little bit of blood coming from one of his ears, and from the cuts that you've dealt him, where they've found their way through his armor. And he's barely able to get himself. Actually, technically, it's your turn because that was your first attack.
I will walk over and I will grapple him, but I will do it by standing on his chest.
Yeah. Okay. Do me a strength check.
Athletics or just
sorry,
raw strength?
do athletics check. Now do you,
24.
yeah, you just do straight athletics and he'll be with a disadvantage. That's an 11. Yes, you just heavily place your armoured boot down upon his chest plate.
I'll point my sword at him. Just be like, yield.
This will not be forgotten. You're a witch, Rhogaar Grimfrost.
Scoff at his witchcraft. You know nothing of witchcraft or divinity.
I
You are
follow Lendis. What do you follow? Some demon of the woods?
I follow Bahamut. You follow nothing. You follow your own self-interest, your jealousy, your rage. You are pathetic.
He's shocked. He's aghast. He doesn't speak.
Yield.
I yield.
I will desummon Valorian, step off him, and offer him a hand.
Oh.
And then stabbed in the ribs.
You see that happening.
You're off the hand, and he starts to push himself up and just slaps your hand away as he struggles to get to his feet. Some of the knights run over and start helping him up, but he pushes them away as well.
Get off of me! Get away from me! If I ever see you again, Rhogaar, get out of here. Go.
Pity you, Guthrix.
Ah! And he just starts storming away, bends to pick up his sword, fumbles it on the first grab, and then just picking up awkwardly, almost by the crossguard, just spits and storms off away into Bryn Shander. His knights seem torn. They're looking to you. They're looking to him.
I'll nod
to
at them,
you.
like, knowingly, like, it's alright, off you go.
They kind of uncertainly, slowly at first, but they turn and run after Gathrix. You're just left alone alone. A bit of a crowd has gathered now. There's about 36 people from inside the house, inside your father's house, various others from the surrounding neighbourhood, just standing in shock and amazement. And you can hear murmurs and mutters. You pick up word like witchcraft. You hear Bahamut. There seems to be a bit of discussion, a bit of uncertainty. People look in awe and also scared. But as you're surveying the crowd, looking across, you do get a glance for a second, stood just between two fairly burly elder chaps. See what looks like an old man. A couple of golden canaries perched upon his shoulder. He's smiling and nods at you. And it's one of those kind of blink and you'll miss it moments. You kind of scan past and you do like a double take and look back and he's gone.
Yeah, that's the payoff I wanted. I just nod at Cal and Gotrek and just like, thank you.
Anytime. You got your back. Well, I don't pass that as getting your back, but still.
We should go, don't you?
I believe with the faces of the individuals around us that we're probably not welcome. Now, maybe.
I guess I didn't manage to cast Find Steed.
You hadn't started it, so you've still got the spell slot. He basically, as you were preparing yourself to cast it, that's when he interrupted.
Okay. I just tell the guys to maybe you should ready your steeds. I will take 10 minutes to mutter to myself while everyone watches.
And
Fuck them.
As you are casting this, the others, Gotrek, Cal, you're getting Moonin and Sif ready, getting to make sure they're all saddled up, putting away feed bags, everything like that. And as you're casting this, Rhogaar, you can hear a lot of the sudden kind of some of the gasps and
It's magic. And you see his friends are witches as well. Yeah, they're paralyzed the captain.
It's kind of,
What is he doing now? Is he going to kill us all?
and there's a bit of shock, a bit of surprise, but people stay to watch anyway.
Give him a good show.
And as the spell completes, there's a moment of silence. And then Taraxi's screech pierces the air, causing several people in the crowd to suddenly scream and just scatter, running away down alleyways, kind of looking to the skies, kind of cowering a little bit, hands above their heads. Other people just kind of white-faced and in shock, but all looking up to see where the sound came from. As after a moment, he comes into view as he slowly circles down.
It's been too long. What gives? I got bored of waiting.
He lands.
I'm trying to make an exit.
He lands as gracefully as he can.
Oh, are we?
He kind of looks around at the crowd.
Are we doing a thing?
Yes, it's going to be fun.
Oh, okay, I play along.
He tries to stand as nobly as he can, neck extend, like full extension, head held up regally, his wings kind of posed behind him.
Perfect. I will. I'll mount up and wait for Cal and Gotrek.
So as you mount up, Cal and Gotrek, you'd be ready at this point.
Right, shall we go?
Should I do it? Should I do the thing?
I think.
Oh, the thing, I do the thing.
And he rears back on his legs, spreads his wings wide, and lets out another cry.
That's a boy. Good boy. I'll do a little turn around, look at everyone in the crowd. Just be like, I'm not even gonna say anything. Fuck this, I'm just gonna take off.
A superhero moment.
Yeah.
So Taraxi's sensing a readiness to leave with his wings still spread wide, and kind of rotates them 90 degrees to be like perpendicular to the ground. I think I used that word wrong. Crouches for a second and leaps up, and with a mighty flap of wings that sends a little nova of dust scattering out from across the packed earth, and just flies straight up with a little bit of a spiral.
What a G.
I've been practicing some of these when you have me.
Trotting.
Oh god, I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, when you make me watch goats, I practice.
I appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah. Valorian, he tells me it is important to have flair.
Valorian told him that.
Well,
What is Valorian teaching him?
Valorian speaks.
not in so many words, but I did tell him that it is important to make an impression upon people.
Oh God.
Definitely
Oh.
an impression.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I guess we'll just head back to. Fuck, I don't know. I've been talking too much.
You know where you're headed.
Yeah.
It was only last night, and you know the area well enough. You know where to head back to. So as you fly out there, a little bit of a daze in everything that's just happened. Cal and Gortrick, you're left to trot out.
Just gonna be like, "Morning, then."
People do part before you, and kind of, yeah. There's that they're not quite sure what to make it. There's not hostility. No one tries to stop you. No one interferes with you. But there is this uncertainty as you make your way out of the city, town, and head towards the point. I mean, you reckon you've probably still got a couple of hours before Ryu and Grishnak arrive, but you head to. You do your best to try and find that spot where you're pretty sure this is where you arrived. You know, you're roughly in the same place. But yeah, you've probably got a couple of hours before they actually turn up.
I'm gonna summon back Scardy because I still haven't done that yet.
Yep. Your raven pops back into existence.
Some kind of camp. Maybe try and find some food, have a short rest, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Can I please have a short rest?
You can absolutely do a short rest. Yeah. So
God.
if you do your hit dice, whatever else you need.
What spell slots?
It's spell slots.
Yeah, you're not going to get them back, I'm afraid.
I get my
can.
warlock ones. I get my
You do
warlock
get
ones
your
back.
warlock ones back, don't you?
Yeah,
And
I
if
always
you're a
make sure to
clever
spend them
boy,
first.
You spend them first. Yeah.
Yeah.
Smart. Yeah. Use however many hit dice you need.
I'm a big boy.
Gotrek and Cal, are you attempting to find any? I mean, you've got rations on you.
I think I've got the rations.
No, I don't think we brought anything.
That's a good
So,
point.
Yeah, we'll go. Can we see anything? Is there any? Is there anything indicative
This
of
is a
little animals nearby?
pretty barren and scared. Like looking around, you can't see anything. But if you want to
I'm-
spend, you've got a couple of hours. If you want to spend a couple of hours trying to find something,
Can I send Scardy out to go get me a rabbit?
she can't get your rabbit. She's a fucking raven, but she can help you find one. So
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
do me survival with advantage.
Yeah.
See what you find. Fuck all.
Wow.
Looks like rabbits off the menu.
Guys, there's some yellow snow.
You find some yellow snow, but that's about it.
I don't trust that snort.
Am I allowed to go looking for food?
Yeah, go on. Just do me a straight survival because you haven't got a bird helping you.
I don't has bird.
You do not has bird. Whoa.
Oh.
I don't need a bird.
Yeah. So while Gotrek is he's trying to use Scardy's vision to see if he can detect any, if he can see any rabbits running around, trying to do an aerial view, seeming to forget that birds have monochrome vision and not having much joy. You, however, get lucky as you're traipsing around. You're going around for probably best part of half an hour. You're about to give up and wander back to where Rhogaar's resting when you actually spot the beady red eyes of a couple of rabbits trying to hide in a drift that you are able to kill and cook simultaneously. Saves a lot of time.
Nice.
With some well-placed firebolts. So you're able to bring back a couple of rabbits to eat. It's not the most nourishing food. Rabbit, it's... I don't know if you guys knew this, but you actually use more calories eating and digesting rabbit than you get from eating it. Nice little QI fact for you there. But it is enough...
Like lettuce.
Yeah, it's pointless.
Depends how much butter is on said rabbit, just for the record.
Well, unfortunately, but
Where'd you find the
but
butter?
it is enough. It is enough to...
I'm just taking an outside of character reference.
It is enough to kind of, subconsciously make yourself feel like you're fed. So is there anything else you're doing in this couple of hours while you wait?
Making more yellow snow.
Make more yellow snow, fair enough.
Maybe Yeah, we're Browns now.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
Literally.
Contemplating.
Just like, ooh, wanted to do that for a long time. Felt real good. Smug bastard.
So, while you're waiting, contemplating, and all of you quietly processing the last few events, the events of the last couple of hours, Cal, as you found yourself, found your a spot a little away from everyone else, a little bit out of view, taking a squat. Ryu and Grishnak appear and literally catch you with your trousers down. They suddenly appear about 10 feet away from you, over to your left. Thessalia stood between them.
That deck of cards I was holding just goes like fucking everywhere.
So Rui appears in a shower of cards.
Grishnak still wearing his helmet.
So Grishnak, because of the narrow slit on your visor, on your helmet's visor, you literally can just see white. You can't see any kind of deep. It's just where you happen to be facing, you can just see snow. It's a little bit confusing. Thessalia cracks her knuckles.
Yeah, twice in as many days. It's quite enough to be visiting a shithole like this. Well, you're here now. Oh, look, there's one of your friends.
Oh, Cal, do put some trousers on.
Ha!
What's going on?
Cal's got his trousers down.
Guys,
Grishnak just rips his helmet off like, oh, you dirty bastard.
it's cold, but I can't break it off. You're just going to have to walk away. Just walk away.
I turn around, put on my ring of warmth.
So, the ring of warmth, let me double check. It might be an attunement item.
Ah, okay, that's fine.
Ring of warmth. No, it's not. So the second you put it on, it's cold, Ruri. It is painfully cold as soon as you arrive. You weren't dressed for warm weather either.
Yeah, I'm from the Midlands.
So the second you hear, you're just like, oh my holy shit, it's cold. Like what you said to Cal, you had to say through chattering teeth. But the second you slip the ring on, it just feels like a normal spring day. It's a little bit chill, but otherwise you're fine. And
nice
just to be clear, while you're wearing this ring, you also have resistance to cold damage.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes.
Let me add that to my thing.
Ring of warmth. It should be in the compendium.
We did it. We're back together.
Ah!
So happy.
Well,
I don't know about you guys, but we had the worst morning.
I don't know, I had a bit of fun.
Me too.
well, that's my end of the deal upheld.
Yeah.
Anything else you need?
No,
thank you
for the help.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. May I offer you a Queen of Diamonds? And I give her a single playing card.
Just takes it and looks at it.
Why?
Why not?
Yeah.
Just puts it in her pocket. Like it just gets stuffed into her pocket in her robe.
Yeah, whatever. Right.
Nice.
Well, I have stuff to be getting on with. Next time you're in Baldur's Gate, come see me. You all owe me a favour. Yeah.
Then she just gestures in the air before her, and she's gone.
Joke's on her. I'm gonna die before I go back to Baldur's Gate.
What did the old witch say?
It says we owe her a favour.
Well, who don't we owe a favour to?
You've got a point.
Right, well, who wants the good news and who wants the bad news?
We'll take the bad news first, I think.
Okay, the bad news is the Dragon Cult is after us, again. They were in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, and they know exactly who we are, what our names are, and they know we've got the eggs.
Oh.
Yeah.
I would like to apologise. That's probably my fault.
Yes, I was going to bring it up, but I'm glad you did.
It is my fault.
Yay, I've been waiting for this moment. Carry on.
It's alright. We'll be fine. I think.
worth messaging your apprentice in Fandolin to make sure they're prepared, just in case they come.
I shall I also mention them to maybe, I don't know, heighten security around Fandolin as well?
Yes, that's
Not let strangers in and all that.
build a wall.
Yeah, close the borders, as it were.
Well, strangers, I mean, dragon cult can be anyone.
True.
And if so, we could literally already be up to our knees in Fandolin with dragon cult, and we don't even know about it.
Yes, they should increase security.
Right, I'm gonna do that. I will send 2 sending spells. Actually, no, I'll just need to send 1.
25 words.
25 words. Oh, jeez. Right.
If you want to take a moment to kind of figure out what you're going to say, if there's anything else that people want to discuss.
That's the good news.
I believe that was
Well,
Rhogaar asking about the good news.
The good news, well, we've got the eggs, safe and sound, and then Krishnak points to his shoe, and I've got a bit of him on my boot as well.
Grishnak's boot
That's not.
it's not only is it quite blood, I wouldn't say blood soaked, but this is more than a spatter. This is a definite splash, not just of blood but of gore.
Definitely a bit of brain stuck.
Yeah.
Like in the
It was quite recently.
Yeah, it was literally like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, I think we might have blown Hemi's cover as well. I hope she's not too mad at us.
No, she was alright in the end.
Do I need to ask what happened?
Krishnak?
Well, long story short, Rory's off to go shopping for Cal, get some bits and bobs, and I'm having a few breakfasts as I want to do. A couple of blokes come up and they're like, "Oh mate, can you help us find something?" And I knew they were fishy as soon as I set eyes on them. You tell me, sit down, and they basically say they're looking for all of us. He points a fucking sword to my gut, thinks that's gonna fucking scare me. And I'd had it. I ain't having him put a sword on me, not when I'm eating my fucking breakfast.
That's the final.
And then after that, we went around the back of the town, got in the portal. Bob's your uncle, sorted.
And then while I was at the shop, I was walking back and Resmir was being carried through the city by her guards. Resmir with scar and all on her face in a very elaborate royal carrier. Luckily, the guards didn't recognize me. I think maybe it's because I had the disguise on, but I don't know if we can necessarily count on that. Oh, I got you a book, Gotrek.
Oh, what'd you get me?
I'll give him the guide to enchanting.
Ooh, I don't think I've got this one.
No, you haven't.
What would interest you?
So yeah, taking the book, it's that thing of you've never seen this book, but you have heard of the author.
Ooh, who's the author?
The author is... Shit, bring up my...
Satan.
Satan. Ooh.
Satine.
So the author, I will remind you, was named Frolim Helkral. I'll spell that for you.
Okay, what's the book called as well?
So the book is called...
Think for Dummies.
I already have that one. God.
It's called Secrets of Enchanting Revealed.
Okay.
Revealed.
So you have heard of Frolim Helkral. Most smiths have. He was a dwarf from a long time ago. We're talking generations. And dwarven generations,
Bigger generations.
Big, yeah. We're talking about a bit over 1,000 years.
Oh.
This book is written in Old Dwarvish, like very Old Dwarvish. Basically, he was around. Actually, I might have got the time wrong. I might have to retcon that time period, but basically he was around at the point where, because I've lost my bloody note, where the Rhogaar split from the dwarves.
Oh, long time ago then.
And he went with the Rhogaar.
Oh,
shit.
But
black magic.
This book,
Evil book.
you know, given that this book, yeah, you don't know. Maybe this was written before that happened. You're not sure.
Yeah, I'll just start. I'll peek at the first couple of pages.
It's. I mean, I'm not going to go through word for word because I haven't had time to write you out a fucking.
Come on,
book
man!
treatise
It's me. Surely you should know. It's
you
like, I wanna
can
read
write
the
your
first
own
2
magic
pages.
books.
Okay, fine.
But what you start reading does actually intrigue you. Immediately, he's talking about techniques that you've never heard of.
Okay.
That do seem
You owe me
to
a very nice present.
that do seem to hint at quite potent, quite potent efficacy as far as enchanting goes.
This is a very good find, Rory. And I will owe you a fancy gift.
Thank you.
I think
To be
I'll
honest,
make it.
he seemed rather eager to get rid of it, if I'm honest. Maybe it's because I spent so much gold.
How much did you spend?
Oh, Rhogaar, I got something for you as well.
That was quite a dodging answer to that question.
I'll reach into the bag and I'll start pulling out this massive tapestry that's rolled up.
thank you.
No, so here's my thinking. This tapestry depicts the founding of Baldur's Gate. And we're about to visit someone who we believe likes items of historical significance. Do you see where I'm going with this?
Tapestry?
Yes, tapestry.
So I think we missed half of that, Rhogaar. What do you say?
Is it an old tapestry?
The tapestry itself, it's not old. Maybe a bit over 100 years old. But the events that it's depicting go back, centuries. Like, go back to when it's depicting events when Baldur's Gate and Waterdeep were still small settlements.
Thank you, Rory. This will. I hope this will do the job.
I do as well. I can keep it in the bag if you don't want to carry it.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll stuff it back in the bag.
Wear it as a cloak. A really fancy cloak.
It's pretty big. You know, it's like as Rory's unfolding it, he actually has to get help from Grishnak to fully unroll it.
Cool.
What's that little voice?
Yeah, Gotrek, are you watching SpongeBob SquarePants in the background or something?
No, I was just Googling something and then it started playing an advert.
I see.
I love that.
Fucking, my ad block is just stopping nothing now. It's
What is
annoying.
this ad block you talk of?
Sorry.
Yeah, so have you figured out what you're sending?
Yes. So, priority to this is to
To Renala.
Renala. So literally, it's going to be priority. Dragon Cult could attack, increase security at the mine and the village. One Gundren also lock down the armory and check the stock and also the forge.
Okay. So you get a response. What? Hang on, let me get the fucking accent right. What kind of attack should we be expecting? Like, are we dragons from the sky, or are we going to be like armies, or cuts off about there?
Shit. Right. What should they be expecting?
Well, if they're coming after us, and they
Aye,
know
but-
that we could, if they know that we can easily beat a blue dragon, probably something fucking worse than that.
Aye, so potentially
Some
dragons, potentially
half orcs.
cultists, horde of orcs. Oh shit, that's actually a thing. Yeah, they got a horde of orcs, so that
Yep.
could be.
Last you knew, the orcs were much further south. You know,
If it's
that's-
easy enough to turn back around.
Yeah, but
Tactically, from a standpoint, they could turn around, or they could just be continuing on with their objective.
you're not really sure.
Maybe the orcs took Grishnak's little rousing noise that they wouldn't come and fight for them.
Nah,
Maybe.
maybe.
So you're sending back to her?
Fuck.
You don't have to.
Yeah, last time I did that though, I drained all my spells and we were left with nothing.
I remember.
I'll do one more,
Okay.
which will be they could potentially infiltrate, posing as normal people. Don't let anyone in the forge, and tell the Talon to up security checks.
All right, I'll have Wave Echo Cave locked down, and I'll talk with the Talons about what we can do at Fandlin. Please come back soon. Stay safe.
Okay,
I miss Fandolin.
I do
I'm a
too.
Spandalin.
Let's go home. Forget Tiamat. Let's live out our days in Fandolin.
Okay, so
I will inform everyone what she said.
yeah.
They will also want us to come back as soon as possible, which is rather nice.
That is nice.
So what's the plan now? Keep going.
Well, Lord Rhogaar, as Gotrek will do an elaborate bow.
I'm
That's right. He's actually a lord as well.
Oh, are we calling him Lord Rhogaar again?
No, no.
Aye,
Please
you're
don't.
a lord.
No, I don't think I'm a lord anymore.
What, he actually is a fucking lord?
Aye, he is.
Fucking hell.
Lord Rhogaar of the Fancy Men.
Aye.
Okay,
Lord
Get
Rhogaar,
it out
fancy
of your-
pants.
get it out of your systems. We should start heading north. The journey is
Well, you're about.
X amount of time.
So where I've put that blue dot, that's roughly where we've got Bryn Shander on this map. From what I can recall. It's annoying they don't mark it, but hey. So Kelvin's Cairn is... let's get back to the freehand thing quickly. Yeah, Kelvin's Cairn is this one right here.
Ah.
Oh, I was going to say, what was that question mark?
You reckon... How long it takes you to get there really depends on... It's about midday now. It's not so much a case of distance, it's the fact that you're hiking through the snow up a mountain. It's going to get increasingly more difficult as you make your way up there. Probably a day.
Would it be easier because we have goats? Sorry.
You do have... It's tricky because, yes, you've got the goats. They're mountain goats. They're not necessarily so good at... It's easier, but then you've got Moonin.
Oh, bless him.
So I think it kind of balances out. But
Could
I'd
we
say-
rig up the eggs so Traxxas can carry them, and then at least you're not struggling with the eggs?
Yeah,
Yeah, take some time to do that.
my big.
That's
I'm
doable.
going to pick up what I can find on my playing card.
Okay. Do
Stuff
me
like half a deck.
do me an investigation check. See how many
Well,
you
I'm already
find.
one down.
You are one down. Yeah, you've got about half a deck.
Cool. Keep those for a rainy day.
But yeah.
Oh, right. Does anyone want a healing potion? You know, just to have for emergencies.
Aye. Oh, wait, let's go back to the subject of how much money you spent.
Well,
That
I mean,
was quite
after I
a
bought,
fancy dodge.
well, after I bought your very nice and thoughtful present, Gotrek,
Aye.
after I bought that, I got this ring, and I'll show off the ring on my finger. This ring of warming, to keep myself warm. And then I got the tapestry, and then I got 8 potions,
Okay.
and that was about 3,000 gold.
Well,
That's
can't
not
take
too
it with
bad.
us when we die, I suppose.
Yeah, we still
Aye.
have 7,000 left. I see this as an
That's
absolute
pretty
win.
good. That is
Well-
pretty good.
As long as we can afford a pint from the next place we go, I'm not bothered.
We can afford
Aye.
many pints. Many, many, many pints.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Rory.
Do we want to
Right,
split up
cool.
the potions? Meta.
Yeah, cool. So everyone is going to have one potion of healing, all 5 of
Okay.
us. So everyone add a potion of healing.
Remember, these are in the
And I
compendium.
Yes. And I have 3 potions of greater healing as well. Who wants those?
In all fairness, I don't think Godric should have the healing. 'Cause
You've
he's
got heals,
tanking
haven't you?
Yeah, I can heal.
Well,
Yeah,
it's probably
I'm
a good
just
idea
thinking
to.
you should have the 1 potion just in case.
Yeah,
I agree with what Rui's saying. Is that if you've got the 5 normal, yeah, probably best that everyone takes 1
Yeah.
for emergencies.
I think Grishnak should have one of the greater healing because it's essentially double for him.
Yeah, agreed.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then shall I keep the other 2 greater, or does someone else want one?
Yeah, keep them.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Rhogaar should have a greater healing though, just because you are front line quite a lot.
Yeah, if you want some DM meta input, I'm just thinking back to the battle with the Meragons.
Okay.
Rhogaar could have done with 1
Rhogaar,
then,
you
kind
take
of
one
thing.
as well.
Cool.
So I've got 1 of each. You've got 1 of each. Grish has got 1 of each, and the other 2 just haven't.
Is it in the compendium? Greater healing.
Should be.
Yeah, just type in
Items.
healing.
I typed in greater and it didn't come up. That's why.
It's a bit weird sometimes about
Yeah.
that. Cool.
Greater healing 1. Okay.
So, Cal, you probably missed that. Add a healing potion to your inventory as Ruri is handing them out.
Yo.
Everybody gets 1.
You get a potion. You get a potion.
Okay. So, is there anything else that that you're covering, that you're prepping, that you're going over, or are you starting your journey up the mountain?
I guess apart from making sure the eggs are rigged up nice and tight to Traxxas, then
I would say
Yeah.
between Grishnak's certain set of skills, and Gotrek's crafting ability, between the 2 of them, they're able to fashion something pretty damn secure. It's essentially a sling that Taraxes is able to carry below him.
Imagine
So
like-
it's more. It was tricky flying before with the stretcher, but with this kind of thong type sling that they're in, they're nestled together quite tightly, and they're not in danger of suddenly like rocking and falling off. So Rhogaar's Taraxes' movement is not as impaired with this particular setup.
awesome. Space
I'll
snowshoes.
Okay, so you making your way up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll make some tea to keep everyone warm as well.
Okay,
Everyone tea.
so everyone has a quick round of tea just to get some heat in them. So yeah, obviously Cal, Gortrek, and Grishnak, you guys are gonna struggle a little bit. Well, Grishnak has got his bear skin, which is pretty warm. Yeah. So basically, we will do a little bit of skill check as you ascend the mountain to see how easy a time you have of it. And I may intermittently ask for constitution saves from Gortrek, Cal, and Grishnak. Grishnak, because you're bear skin, I'm going to say you have advantage on him, just to
Okay.
see how you handle the cold as you ascend. Rhogaar, you're accustomed to this. Ruri, you've got the ring of warmth, so you're all right.
I'm sorry, I did try and buy multiple rings. They didn't have multiple rings.
So, you are basically at the base of
Investigate base.
of a reasonable sized mountain. Now, Rhogaar, you do know you've never been up to Torvus Lair. You understand that you don't have to actually reach the peak. That the entrance is, you're in the top. You're talking at the top 15% of the mountain. You don't know exactly where the entrance is, but it's up there. But you don't have to actually crest the mountain itself. looking ahead, you can see there are one side of the mountain is quite steep, but appears just to be plain snow all the way. To the right, there is more of like a craggy cliff face going up. Yeah. So we'll do this rather than do this as you walk here, you walk there, you do this. We'll do a skill check as you guys want to make your way up the mountain. So, let's say 4 successes are needed to make your way up. This whole trip is going to last. It's going to take you the best part of about 24 hours. So you will have to stop and make camp at some point. Unless you wanted to try and go through the night, but it's even colder then. So,
can I be making sure that I'm flying up and slightly ahead to make sure that I lay out a path to make sure that so we're going the best route possible, and we're not going to get stuck.
So, the challenge here is obviously snow. It's from the aerial perspective, it can be tricky making out. Like you could be looking down at a point that looks flat, and then you wheel a bit to the side to see what's over there. You look back at the point you were just looking at, and suddenly you can see there is a large drift, making it more of a difficult obstacle. So it's not. It's trickier than it is. For example, when you did this before for the party, but it is possible to try and at least make sure that they're not necessarily heading towards like a sudden ravine that might be otherwise hidden amongst the snow. So go ahead and do me perception. I'd say you're not, because of the difficulty with the snow kind of playing tricks on the eyes, you are going to lose the advantage that you would otherwise have for being aerial, but for the most part.
Oh, that's a big three.
All the big rolls today.
So flying up, trying to scout out, you're struggling. The sun, it's actually quite bright today, and it's reflecting off the snow, and it's making it very hard for you to clearly define, where is a good path, where is not. And as you spot what you think to be a suitable ridge to go along, and you kind of get a bit low and direct the rest of the party to go that way. But as the party makes their way along, the shelf of snow they're walking on suddenly dislodges and begins to slip. Can everyone make me a dex save, please? Well, actually, if you're mounted, I need the dex save of your mount.
Oh, God.
Excellent.
Not again.
The goats, I will say, have advantage on this.
Oh, it's a flat fucking roll. It's worse than me.
I mean, to be honest, I was thinking about it anyway. I think Grishnak would probably actually be carrying Moonin up there.
Okay, Grishnak, do me a dex save.
Okay, would I get advantage since it's like terrain that I can see? Because I have got my danger sense.
Yeah, I can say that applies, because I suppose it's not dissimilar from triggering a trap, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
For some reason, mine's done 1 advantage, 1 normal. I don't know why.
That's fine. We'll take the first one. I'm afraid, Cal, I'm going to have to take your first one as well. So
I didn't realise it had rolled that way, to be fair. That's why I clicked it twice, so I expected you to take the 6 anyway.
Yeah, so you running? That's okay. You don't have proficiency, and that's fine. So you all pass except for you, Cal. Butthead staggers, manages to catch themselves, but you are pitched and thrown. You tumble a little way down the snowy drift. You take you take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as you unceremoniously tumble down the drift, but you are able to make your way back up to the to your goat and remount. I'm afraid that is 1 failure. So, who wants to do the make the next contribution to the skill challenge?
Can you tell us what it is first?
No, you've got to decide what you're going to try and.
I'll do it blindly. I've not done a lot yet this game as well. Not be allowed to burn people, so you know.
I'm sorry, Cal.
No, it's not you, Rhogaar.
So,
No.
would performance help in this situation at all?
How would performance help in this situation? I mean, if you can make a good argument for why it helps.
So basically, because we're on a snowy mountain, yeah?
Mhm.
So I would like to play my mandolin so loudly that I cause an avalanche and make the path ahead of us easier.
Everyone is
Avalanches
crushed
aren't
by an
good.
avalanche.
No, but like an avalanche in the opposite way, like an avalanche.
How confident do you feel in your ability to create controlled avalanches?
Well, I've got a +10.
I mean, that would affect whether or not you'd be able to play loud enough to dislodge.
Okay,
A
so
significant amount of
based on the
snow.
last time we had a skill challenge and I did something stupid, I'm not going to do this.
Just out of character moment, probably wise. But I like the enthusiasm. Cal, you were going to suggest
Okay.
something?
Do you know what? I don't think it's just one of those moments where I said something because I thought I need to do something. It's probably a really fucking stupid idea for me to do anything whatsoever. I can try and melt some of the snow to clear the path, which is what I was going to go for.
Okay.
But I don't know whether I don't know what skill it would be really. Maybe it's a religion check and I get.
I would say make that as a.
Al just needs an extra skill in fire.
Nature or survival?
Yeah. Make a fire check.
Do a nature or a survival check.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
When did Cal turn into Bear Grylls with his massive survival?
So you've been as you've been travelling, you've been grumbling about the snow ever since you got up here, and thinking about ways to make it easier, especially with your, no offence, with your stature compared to some of the party. You get quite fed up of wading through the snow, so you've been giving it some thought, and you're able to just get the exact right temperature. Like, using, I'm going to say essentially using the firebolt cantrip to kind of just heat your hands and like radiate heat out as you go forward, and it's able to. You're able to melt just enough snow that it makes it doesn't completely get rid of the snow, but it's so much easier to move through, and all of you actually are making much better progress. So that's actually going to count as 2 successes.
Ooh.
As you
See, in my head, I was just like, in Cartman realises he's got electrical powers in South Park.
oh yeah, I can do this thing. So yeah, you're able to use just the right amount of fire to ease your movement through this deep snow. Okay, so that's 2 successes. Who wants to contribute next? Also, bear in mind you can only do one given thing once, but
Right.
so Cal couldn't do another survival, but Grishnak could do a survival, if that makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to attempt what?
I could sort of move on ahead and do a strength check to sort of like pound down the terrain to make it easy for everyone else to walk over.
Yeah. Yeah, so do athletics then as you go ahead.
Okay.
Trying to do that. Yeah. Oh, I forget you're you are bear. You get the advantage on that. So you do, and this helps combine with what Cal is doing to just further ease the path. So yeah, you guys are actually making pretty good time now. You're not struggling through the snow, although it is getting bitterly cold. Now, I will say, so Gortrick, Cal, Grishnak, if you can all give me a con save. Grishnak and Cal, you both have advantage on this, because Cal, obviously, your natural 20 there, as you're generating all the heat, that's actually helping you somewhat.
Was it a con save?
Yes, please. Oof, you're just in there, Cal.
It's like, yes,
Just.
I'm making heat, but I'm still fucking dying.
You are still cold. You do not like this. This land is your bane, but you are just about holding there through the heat that you're generating, helping warm your body. Okay, so I say that will you carry on for the rest of the day. It's fairly dull going, if I'm honest. Snow, more snow. You occasionally see something in the distance. What looks like some kind of large cat, camouflage like that. Just catching it for a brief instance before it disappears, camouflaged amongst the land. You see the occasional rabbit disappearing off. There's birds wheeling overhead from time to time, but yeah, it's a pretty cold and desolate place, really. It starts getting dark a lot earlier than you would normally expect, obviously this far north, and the temperature drops further, forcing you guys to... Yeah, I'd say it forces you guys to make camp. It would be, Rhogaar, you recognise it as being foolhardy to try and continue on
Could
in these
we
conditions.
look for some sort of cavern?
Is there a cave? Yes, you may.
Okay.
I would say, looking for a cavern, do me a survival check, Grishnak.
Okay.
I would say as well, actually, make survival, but I was about to say, I think you have advantage because you've got Rhogaar, Eye in the Sky helping you out on this one.
Okay, I'll roll again then.
No, you're not able to make anything out. Yeah, you can't see a damn thing, Rhogaar. And Grishnak, you're having little luck down on the ground. You do manage to find a drift that will shelter you from the worst of the wind, but it's probably going to be a bit of a rough night.
Okay, I'm going to wrap myself in the tapestry.
No, you are not.
That was a gift. Okay, so yeah, you set yourself up for the night. Do you want to keep watches?
Probably best because
It's probably wise, yeah.
Feeds in the mountains.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll need 3 watchers. Who wants to go first? You can do it. Can do a couple of pairs if you want, but it's up to you.
Take
I
one of the
reckon-
darker watches with Traxxas.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I'll go the darker one as well because I've got the ring, so I'm not going to get cold.
okay, so who wants to take the first watch then?
I'll take first watch.
Go for it.
Yeah. I'll go first watch with Gotrek as well.
Okay, so do you each want to make me a perception check?
Yep.
Oh, come on.
What? Hey!
Hey.
Hey,
Godric,
Gotrek.
you're not too fond of the cold, but you do feel at home up on this mountain, and you are scanning the landscape intensely. You don't see anything dangerous. No signs of anything moving on you guys. You reckon the small fire that Cal has managed to get going is probably warding off any potential predators. You do spot, and it takes a moment to jog your memory what you're looking at. Basically, looking south-southwest of the mountain, so kind of almost parallel to you guys, but further south down the mountainside, seems to be a deep trench running down the mountain, and it takes a second for you to recall, but you suddenly remember that's Dwarven Valley. Do me a history check on that.
Okay. Is it advantage or just straight history?
Just straight, but the DC isn't high.
Straight history.
Oh, bloody hell.
Where were these last week or the week before when I needed them? Jeez.
So, I can read you the whole bloody thing now. So
Let me get in the position. Okay.
So the Dwarven Valley consists mostly of underground mining tunnels and living quarters made from expended mining tunnels. You know that it sits... I'll give you the Dwarven Valley. Dwarven Valley was home to dwarves of Clan Battlehammer, formerly led by Brunor Battlehammer. From underneath the veil, the dwarves, they mined iron, they forged it into well-crafted weapons and armour that they then sold in Bryn Shander. So they're kind of like, that's where dwarves first came to settle in Bryn Shander. You know that a lot of... basically, when... it's got a storied history. It was attacked few hundred years ago, and parts of it got collapsed. It was then mostly abandoned when Mithril Hall was rediscovered. But some dwarves who left for the hall did return to their homes in Dwarven Valley. You don't know quite how many. This was quite a long time ago. This is back when Mithril Hall was reclaimed, which was happened, I think, about 100 years before you were born. I know I had to jig some of the years around so things made sense. You also know that nearby is a site called Brunor's Temple, a sacred place to the dwarves where many have visited to forge masterworks, and it's on the at the northernmost point of the valley. So,
I think we need to go there. Grishnak, and I'm going to point to kind of the end of the valley. After we're done here, do you reckon we could go over there and make a little bit of a pit stop?
I don't see why not. Why would we go there now?
I will relay everything. I'll be like, masterwork weapons. There might be stuff left there that could be useful for later. We have the Spellforge back in Phandalin. I could maybe enhance or improve or come up with something completely different.
Yeah, I mean, we probably could do with some better weapons.
So you do know, Gotrek, that it's not that there's any particular... Like, you don't know of any... There's no effect at Brunor's Temple that makes things better. It's just, it's a sacred place.
So
So
they
it's-
might have schematics for weapons and stuff that I could reforge at Phandalin or vice versa.
Maybe.
It's all up in the air. What could be?
Okay. So, other than that, your watch comes to an end, uneventful. Who's up next? Was it Rhogaar and Taraxes? Are you going the midnight one?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. And Rory as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. So just straight. It's a fucking vibe.
Come on, 11. Oh yeah.
You see snow. There's just a lot of snow. As far as
I've
you
never
can
seen
see.
snow before.
You've seen snow. It snows in Waterdeep.
No, it doesn't. Never.
It fucking well does.
It's always inside when it snows.
You've never seen this much snow. It's like the difference between being in London over winter and being in Norway.
Ah, yes. Love a good fjord.
But yeah, you really don't see anything. You're a little bit on edge, Rory, just because this is such an alien landscape to you. So it's hard to exactly relax, but nothing happens. Nothing comes lunging and pouncing out of the darkness to attack you.
That's good.
The sky is very pretty here. Looking up at the sky, you can actually see the bands of the solar system around you. You know how if you get somewhere with no light pollution, you can see the Milky Way.
Oh, that's sick.
It's kind of like that. In fact, I would say, actually, no, at this point, at this far north as well, you actually get essentially northern lights going on that rather take your focus.
Oh, he's staring at those. He's like, space.
Wishing that they had topped up on pipeweed. But yeah, okay, so your watch passes uneventfully.
Excuse me.
So yeah, unless you guys have anything that you wanted to discuss while you're there together, then we shall move on to Cal's watch.
The loneliest watch.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cal, as Ruri wakes you, as him and Rhogaar bed down for your watch, and you do kind of slightly gloomily, kind of, fine, I'll take watch on my own. As you settle down to watch, you feel the presence of a large shape moving up next to you. And looking sideways, you see Taraxes has kind of walked up, waddled over, plump down.
I'll
and
probably
kind of
get fucking mauled by a bear.
just giving you side eye for a moment, and then just starts gazing around the landscape. So yeah, Cal, do me a perception check. Rhogaar, do you want to do one for Terexes? As he is helping you on watch, Cal.
Been that long since I got Trax's sheet up. Perception +4. If I just click that, will that work?
Yep, that's done it.
13.
Yeah. It's a little bit distracting, Cal, because every 5 minutes or so, you'll just notice Traxy's staring at you before he goes back to just looking up at the sky, looking down at the ground, just kind of looking around a little bit. It's like Traxys understands the concept of watch, but also at the same time doesn't. But, you know, he's doing his best. Yeah, you don't... You do notice a little bit before dawn, quite far away, there's a slight tremor, like a very slight tremor, and you see some little puffs of snow being thrown up into the air. But we're talking like, you know, this is miles off.
So they're not overly concerning then?
No, I mean, it is just... God knows what that could be. I'm not sure what's causing that. But dawn comes, uneventfully, as you all rouse yourselves. It's still bloody cold. Visibility is a little worse today, as a blizzard is... no, not a blizzard, not a snowstorm per se, but the wind is picking up, and obviously with it, it's disrupting more snow. It's making it a little bit harder to see as you continue your journey. So, you are actually on 3 successes now. Out of a required 4. Who wants to make the next contribution to the skill challenge?
It's more rolling. I think I'm going to pass.
Can I? Is there any evidence of like other people like traversing Calvin's cairn? Like any sort of, obviously not tracks because it's snow.
I mean, obviously no.
Basically, I'm asking because my only other good skill is insight, and that's for people and not surroundings.
Insight doesn't have to be just for people.
Could I sort of like use my angel's intuition to try and foresee the best path with insight?
I think I see where you're going with this. So I would say in this context, you could use... Yeah, I'd say you can use a degree of insight to try and get a sense of where the ground might be likely to give, where it could be risky. It's going to be a little tricky because this is an alien environment to you, so the DC is high, but go ahead, give it a shot.
Is everyone okay with me doing this?
Yeah, do it, man.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Okay, so as you're looking around, scanning the landscape, and you do spot a shelf of ice and snow that's kind of like above you on your left on the path you were going, and it just looks as you're going and as you're you can think about the cracks on it. And the way sometimes it almost seems to be moving. I get this is a little bit perception-y, but it doesn't matter. You're not confident about it. It looks like the slightest thing can make it go, and you are not happy about the group going that way. And you convince them to let's go the other way around it. Let's see if there's a path that avoids having to pass underneath this shelf of ice and snow. As you do so, and it definitely, move away from that rather precarious-looking section. Although after about an hour of travelling, you feel like you are actually heading down. You seem to be moving away from the peak. You worry that you might have lost some time there. I'm afraid that's 2 fails.
Fucking hell.
You were close, but it was a high DC. It's an alien environment for you, I'm afraid. So you're on 2 fails, 3 successes. You need 4 successes. Who wants to make the final contribution?
Godric will try.
What are you going to try?
See, I was thinking of just using, but it's already been done. Of
No.
pushing out of the way.
Well, you can attempt. So the same character can't attempt the same thing twice.
Right. Okay.
You don't have to think of something completely original. I appreciate that in this context, there's only so many things that it really seems like you can do. You don't have to come up with something completely original.
Could I try and use Sift basically be a snowplow, essentially?
Mr.
Sif.
Plow, that's the name of that dude. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. For some reason I thought Sif was the bird. That's Scardy, isn't it? I thought you wanted Scardy to be a snowplow.
Go, Scardy!
Okay.
Animal handling.
Yeah, we'll call that one animal handling.
Oh, okay.
Well, what did you think it was going to be? In a skill
thought-
challenge, I'm going to say no, you can't.
Okay, go natural 20. Oh my god!
How?
Amazing.
How?
Absolutely
Entirely get fucked.
So, Godric, you realise that the path, the alternate path that Ruri has taken you down, whilst initially safer, does actually seem to be leading you further away from your goal. You spot a ridge that might be passable and would actually take you fairly directly up the mountainside, but it looks almost impassable, even with the efforts of Cal and Grishnak with heating and stamping down the snow. It looks like they would struggle with that, but through your bond with Sif and the time you spent training, you're able to encourage him.
Yeah, him.
Him to use his large curled ram's horns to essentially as a snowplow, combining with the efforts of Cal and Grishnak, you're quickly able to clear this path. It's a little steep, but you start making your way and you're heading pretty much directly up the mountainside now. After,
Do you know what?
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what the odds are of 3 natural 20s in a row?
Yeah, no, but it's like I've had 4 in total.
1 in 8,000.
1 in 8,000, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Right?
That's all your nat 20s for this year now.
What? No, don't say that.
He had one at the start as well.
I know, right? So after about an hour or so of travelling, and it's the air is getting thin now, as well as cold. So yeah, I'm going to say everyone needs to make a con check. Just a straight con check, because it's not just the cold now,
No.
it's also...
Is it a con save?
Sorry, con save,
Fuck.
yeah.
con save.
Yeah, con save. So you can... well, hang on, what is your proficiency, Cal? You don't have proficiency in Constitution, do you? In Constitution saves. So it's literally the same. It's okay, we'll go with your first one.
Shit.
But I'm afraid, Cal, that 12 is a fail. You need to take 1 level of exhaustion. As you are struggling
no
a little
stranger
bit.
to exhaustion.
But, Rhogaar, trying to fly overhead, you can spot, maybe only a couple of miles up, possibly only the speed you guys are going at, possibly even less than an hour away, what looks like a large cave mouth near the crest of the mountain.
I love me a cave mouth. Yeah, I'll relay that to the guys and just, come on, we can do it.
The end is in sight. Okay. So you carry on making your way up. The best part of an hour passes. You're tired, you're cold. Cal, you are wheezing slightly in the thin air this high up. Feeling absolutely exhausted, but you can all see this now. You can see what appears to be your destination. You are so close. It's right there. All of you who are travelling on the ground, you feel it. You don't notice it straight away, but you feel it. A tremor. And another one. Stronger now. A few seconds pass. Silence. And then another, stronger. This time, quite a bit of the snow further up the mountainside actually dislodges. A small avalanche kicking off far over to your right. Don't worry, this isn't going to catch you. But Cal, you recognise these large, kind of fountains of snow get kicked up. 3 in this tight little space. And then the tremor stops.
Guys, I've seen that before.
What?
Did you see those little plumes of snow just go up in the air?
Sort of.
Did we? Can we do perception?
Yeah, no, all of you saw this. You've all felt
okay.
the tremors, except you, Rhogaar, because obviously you're up in the air.
It's not just an avalanche, then.
I don't think so.
This is bad. This is very bad. I don't have a good feeling.
Okay, then.
I got a
What
bad
is
feeling
it?
about this.
On
Me too,
on watch
Taraxis.
last night, I saw them in the distance, but I didn't think anything of them because they were so far away. Taraxis saw them as well, Rhogaar.
Where the fuck did I just save that to? Yeah, no, all of you saw this.
Okay.
Caution.
What?
Yeah,
Proceed. Fortune.
it's definitely fellowship on the side of the mountain. But we can't go over the mountain.
Let's go through it.
My cousin Barley will give us a royal welcome.
Oh,
Oh, it's there. I was looking right at it. I'm an idiot. Okay. So, nothing seems to happen for a moment. What are you guys doing?
Let's get in that cave.
Okay, so you
do we
start.
really want to be in a cave when there's like
um,
earthquake?
I mean, it's between that and potentially the
Avalanche.
flow of
That's
snow getting us next time it comes.
Okay.
so pushing forward.
Yeah.
As you start to move forward, you get about half dozen steps. And so there's another tremor. This time it feels like it's almost right in front of you. A few more fountains of snow get chucked up and then erupts before you. As a large, long creature, ice blue in colour, chitinous plates covering its whole length, with a good 24 legs lining its body. It has this large head with kind of like spike coming off the chin, spikes off the side, and these large antennae that whip back and forth, big bulging green eyes, and a rack of glowing red spikes line its back. You see, and I found one that includes a little bit of scale for you guys.
I hate them.
What the fuck is that?
And that is where we'll go ahead and end tonight's session.
No. I've never faced one of these before, so I have no idea what to expect.
It's a horripede.
It is a horripede.
The thing is, I've got red alert music playing in the background just as that pops up as well. So,
I didn't sign up for this. I wanted a nice dragon lady.
maybe this is the dragon lady.
Oh, that was...
Fucking
Whew.
hell.
That was a tiring one.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, man.
I'm sorry if it seemed a little low energy on that skill. That first hour and a half was just full on.
That's okay, mate. I appreciate everyone just...
I mean, you did it last week with us. It's fair enough.
chatting away. Oh, well.
So yeah,
Fucking hell, mate.
That was really good though. I liked the beginning of it though.
yeah. The end was shit, but the beginning of it was good.
No.
Oh, man. Are we as normal next week? I don't think I could take another break.
Yeah, no, we are definitely playing next week. Don't worry. It felt don't get me wrong, Krishna. I absolutely enjoyed your one shot, even though I absolutely froze. Like when I got to be a player, it's like, oh shit, I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, at the beginning when you introduced yourself.
Yeah, I just completely froze. My mind went blank.
I'm a guy, and shut up.
Yeah, literally. It's just that I just had that moment. I felt like everyone's looking at me. I don't know what to say, which is stupid because when you DM, you literally have everyone
You say everything.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was really weird. I said to my sister after, I said that was so fucked up. So I don't know what happened there. So my apologies for that. But enjoyed your one shot. But it's so weird not doing like having that week off of this.
Yeah,
it is strange. But yeah, no, we are.
Games, it really disconnects you. A week off, it's really strange.
It can do, yeah, it really can do. But yeah, so we will pick this up next week, and you can see just what this creature is capable of.
fucking hell.
But yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed. I hope everyone checking this out. I hope you enjoyed it too. Quite an RP heavy one, but I think satisfyingly so. They're always tiring. They're always the hard ones to do, but I do love them. So yeah, join us next week as we find out whether they are able to make their way into Torvath's cave, or does their journey end here? All right. Well, have a good night, everyone. I'll catch you next.